Welcome into your tiny reading for this week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, here to break down the cards with you. So, as usual, we have our three piles. Pick the pile or piles that resonate with you, or you can pick a number between 0 and 9, and the number you choose will appear on each pile now. Before we get into our reading, I just want to remind y'all I am having a reading sale. It is 40% off for my 75-minute live reading. So if you'd like to book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. When you put the reading into your cart and go to checkout, you will see the discount. So let's get into our readings. Welcome in, Group 1. Let's get into your cards. So the card you chose for the energy of your week is Stand Your Ground. So with the Stand Your Ground card, we have the shadow of a person and what looks to be almost like an eclipse, and the sun coming from behind another planet or the moon, and you have the light that's shining, really hitting right at the stomach or the solar plexus area of the person, and they're holding this staff, and they're holding it out. They have their hand on their hip. So there's energy here to own your authority, to be very confident, to say what you mean and mean what you say. It may be a situation this week where you have people that are um, coming for you in some kind of way, or like kind of like testing your authority, or trying to enforce their own authority on you, or trying to push past your boundaries. Because we have the Stand Your Ground card, it may also be that there are people who encounter like difficulties or things that you have to like push through or stand up to, or maintain some kind of like power over, in a sense, if that makes sense. Meaning, like, in some cases, somebody may test you and try to like um, see how far they can take it, or somebody may, like I said, push past your boundaries. You may have people that are like trying to express their own personal authority and see how much they can get away with or do to others, or, you know, like that kind of energy. You also have this person in the card that's alone. So there may be things this week that you have to decide or come up with or do on your own. You may not have the help that you usually have, or the people that are supposed to be there doing it with you or helping you. It may be that you have to be kind of actionable about things, or that you have to take the lead on things, or that you have to make decisions on things. Also, like I said, it's about like your own courage and your own confidence in what you're doing. And so those things may come to the forefront this week, where you have to like really own your shit. And there's a strength to this card. So that could be about inner strength and fortitude this week, and it could be about physical strength and like doing things to strengthen your body that make you feel mentally strong, or, you know, emotionally stronger, or, you know, that bring confidence, or adding physical power that makes you feel, you know, like figurative power. So let's see what other energies we have going on this week. So we have suffering and silence, and movement, choices, decisions, reverse. So part of the reason that you got the Stand Your Ground card is because there are a lot of things that have been going on in your head in terms of fears and worries and anxieties, or ways in which you've been playing it small, or ways in which you haven't allowed yourself to fully embrace your power, or that you don't feel confident, or that you don't feel your authority, you know. And a part of it is that you're like ready to stop playing it small. You're ready to stop feeling helpless. You're ready to stop feeling um, like caught up in fears, you know? And so part of the energy this week is either confronting you and pushing you to get to this, or confronting you with how you've been here and you're like ready to get up out of this, or you have to get up out of this, you know, because it's keeping you stuck. It's very much keeping you from moving and doing the shit that you need to do. For some people, it may literally be stopping you from making decisions, or actually choosing between the things you need to choose, or like owning what you actually want to do. So that's part of why we have the stand your ground card, because all of this is together in terms of the energies that are going to come up this week that are going to force you to make decisions or force you to confront how you've been, like I said, not owning your authority or not sitting in the shit that you actually want, right? Or how, um, you know, you're you become stuck in a cycle of worry and fear, and at this point you're ready to break out of it, so like all of that is coming up this week, very very specifically. So this is what I have for the energy of your week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so getting into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so wishful thinking, second chance, deja vu, nostalgia, chaos, upheaval, disaster, downfall, hopeless, loss, depression, suicide, established, secure, settled, wealthy. So, okay, like I was saying before, there are people who have had and have a lot of shit going on in your mind, right? The wishful thinking to me here isn't necessarily optimism. It's literally like the like thinking the worst, like half glass empty, thinking the worst case scenarios, feeling like um shit is like uh, everything is out of your control or there's nothing you can do about it, or like thinking like this terrible thing is going to happen and then I'm not going to be able to do this and I'm never going to be able to have the things I want and blah 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 blah, or like something happens with your money or with a situation that has to do with like your security, your foundation, something financial, something opportunity wise, and it like may send you fucking spiraling. You know what I mean? And then that's part of why your energy cards speak to you about breaking free from this thinking, breaking free from this way of like um, of immobilizing yourself, essentially, or kind of like bringing in these negative situations in a way. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay. Psychopath, abusive, conniving, unpredictable, and then nurturing reverse. Mentorship, wisdom, giving back. Okay. And then narcissist on the bottom. Um, okay. So because we have these cards, nurturing, psychopath, narcissistic, they're like very specific to like types of people or to like groups of people, in the sense of like nurturing could be your family, things like that. So I think that also for some people, part of why you may be feeling this despair, this grief, this hopelessness, this like fear and anxiety, number one may stem from the people that you're around, like and misery loving company kind of energy. It also may stem from somebody actually doing something that is nefarious or not nice, or like I said before, trying to push you in some way, or exert their own control, or like uh, try to like overpower you in some kind of way or something like that. You know what I mean? And that may be something that you deal with, that like I said, brings this kind of energy and or forces you to not play it small, or forces you to own your authority and tell a bitch what you feel or think, or stand up for yourself in some way. So that is what I'm getting from the specific things. It wasn't much different from the first cards we had. It was just like more specific to those things and like what might happen. Let me just see if there's anything else. This might also be, I feel like, in terms of what we were saying, like people making decisions, or like having to choose or something like that. This may also be you having to recognize um, who or what somebody actually is, and that they are not for you or down for you or actually giving you great advice or supporting you in the way that you think they are, you know? So this is what I'm getting for the specific things. Let's move into your best self-care for this week. All right. Okay, so aromatherapy. Let me see if there's anything else. And chanting. So both of the cards that you have for the best self-care for your week definitely are taking you out of your head and into your body or into another space. It's taking you out of those thoughts. It's moving that energy kind of. Aromatherapy is about the scents that make you feel good, scents that bring you happiness, scents that bring you back into a current space, scents that calm you, scents that can help ease your nervous system, things like that, right? So you can light incense, you can have certain candles, you can make sure that the scent you're wearing is something that's calming or something that will help to bring you back. You can use things like chamomile if you need like to relieve yourself of the anxiety. I'm trying to think of something that brings you up. I can't think of it right now, but if I can, I will put it in the video. Like a tea that like brings your spirits up. But like this is part of the reason why you have the aromatherapy, because we have a lot going on this week in terms of things that may, um, you know, take you off your game or things that are already enhancing the anxiety or the fear that you feel. And so what you want to do is, oh, orange, citrus. Anyway, that can bring joy, but um, or lavender as well. Duh, they're all here. Vanilla, y'all. Anyway, what I'm saying is you want to use these things that can help calm you or bring you back or bring you into balance when you can't do it yourself, right? This also may look like going outside and just like being in nature and like really embodying where you are, smelling the smell, smelling the grass, smelling the, I don't know, the flowers around you, things like that, you know, like kind of just bringing you back into yourself, bringing you into the present moment, excuse me. Then you have chanting. And again, the idea is to bring you out of your constant thoughts and like into a vibration that helps align you, helps to remove the things that have been kind of clouding your brain, excuse me. And then depending on what you're actually chanting, you can bring in certain energies, you can remove certain energies. So both of these things are very intertwined and aligned. And so definitely look into what aromas or scents that you can add to your week this week, or what chants that you can add, whether you're chanting them, whether you're listening to them, um, that can help you to rebalance and bring you back and make you feel good in the moments that you need it. Okay, so this is the best self care for your week, y'all. And this was your reading for this week. So thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so, so much. Please let me know how your week is, what goes on this week. If you need to talk to somebody, baby, I'm here. Okay. If you would like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already, follow the channel, share this message with somebody who needs it. Follow our podcast, Tiny Musings. Our July part 1 reading will be out in a day or so, depending on when you're listening to this or watching this. If you, what have I already said? I don't even remember. Anyway, follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And yeah, if you have another pile, I will see you there. If you picked another number, I'll see you in that group. If not, I will see you in our next reading. And check out our retrograde reading if you haven't already. Welcome in group 2. Let's get into your card. So, the energy card you have for this week is patience and planning. So what's funny is this patience and planning card reminds me of the July reading, the cards that I just pulled for July. It also reminds me of the retrograde reading I just posted, because as of when I'm recording this, we are today in retrograde season. And what I talk about in both of those readings is very much like owning the place that you're in and the phase that you're in, right? And doing what needs to be done in those places and spaces, whatever's being asked of you, not being upset that you're there, or feeling stuck or sitting in the negative, but really owning wherever you are and what that means in terms of what you need to do. Okay. And this patience and planning card isn't just about things not moving, or um, having to stop, but it's also about reevaluating and reassessing. It's about recognizing what season of life you're in, or what season you're in a certain specific area of life or a specific project, and what that means in terms of what you have to do, right? So, like in this card, you have these three different seasons. You can have spring and the summer and the fall and the winter. And so, like the different things that we have going on in life, we have to own what is happening and what that means for us. So if it's spring, we are not harvesting shit in spring. We're planting seeds so that we can harvest it later. If we don't plant the seeds, then we can't harvest, right? So like in that season, that's what we are being asked to do. And fall is when, like I said, you would then harvest and store things. And so that's the work that would be required at that time. It wouldn't really make sense to plant seeds for certain things because they're not going to grow because it's about to be winter. So it's like recognizing what is productive to do in the place that you're in, right? Patience and planning in terms of the energy of this week is also about rest. It's about stepping back from shit, right? It's not necessarily about stopping what you're doing, but it may be about, like I said, reevaluating or reorganizing your thoughts or the things that you actually got going on. It may be about taking a break so that your brain can rest, and then you can come back to it with fresh ideas, with renewed energy, things like that. So the patience part of it, like I said, I feel like is more about recognizing where you are and what that means. And then the planning part is what that then brings in terms of what you have to do. So that's part of the energy that I get with this card. It feels like part of this week is about like reevaluating your plan and your goals and reviewing what you're trying to do instead of like doing everything you can do to get there. But let's get some more cards for the energy of your week to see what else you got going on. Okay, financial and material changes. Okay, we got a lot going on here, but we ain't taking all of this, y'all. Come on now. Come on now. Take this. And what was this? Base. Okay. So we have patience and planning, financial and material changes, material and spiritual prosperity, and the base chakra. All of these cards are red, right? So in the Psychic Tarot, there are different borders on the cards to indicate what they represent, and to group them, and like put them in suits. And this is all red, like down to the base chakra, which is part of what the energy of the red border represents, right? So, like, there is heavy energy on what you're making, what you're bringing in, what you have, how you're getting it, um, what that looks like in the long term, the money you're losing, the money you're making, how that adds up to your security, how that makes you feel secure, what that looks like in terms of your foundation and your literal home, or um, what that looks like in the long term for like what makes you money, or how you secure your funds, like heavy on what my money doing energy, okay? Or like how am I getting there, or just all of that. It's just heavy on security, very heavy on the finances, very heavy on what I have, okay? Very interesting. So the red in the cards symbolize vitality, passion, temper, strength, survival, hard work, and leadership. Red is associated with the base chakra. Okay, I'm just reading directly from the book. I just wanted to see exactly what they said about the borders. But so again, And then just to give you what the base chakras are about. Base chakra, the root chakra, this energy center is situated at the base of the spine and is closely related to all of your earthly issues, such as survival, the physical body issues of money, sustenance, safety, shelter. And because we have so much emphasis on prosperity, it's like there's your own survival in terms of the money or your finances or your wealth. Your physical body in terms of your money, your finances, your health. Issues of money, sustenance, safety, and shelter in terms of your finances and your health, your finances, your material health, things like that, right? It's like it's all of these things and very direct towards the your finances and your material, whether that's your job, whether that's your literal money, whether that's what you have, you know what I mean? Like it's this is part of the energy, and it's super super like palpable for you this week. And again, I don't know if that is because people are losing money or because people are trying to gain money, people are trying to make investments right now. If you are watching this timely as of like 6/29 and that week through, again, this is the beginning of Mercury retrograde season, from the 29th of June to July 23rd. So it may not be the best time to make investments, to sign things, to bet on some shit, okay? Because shit is wonky right now. And so if you're really worried about what you have or how you can grow it, then again, it's time to figure out how that happens, or like if changes have happened, then how do we move from here to get to here. It's like the energy of where you need to be, you know. So yeah, that was very interesting. Let's move into some specific things that y'all might have going on. Okay, so let's see what specifically may happen this week. So we start with drowning. Over your head, over extended rock bottom. Possibilities, follow your dream, make up your mind, believe in yourself. Daydreaming, head in the clouds, delusion, hopes, and dreams. What's interesting about all these cards is it's like not anything. I mean, drowning is definitely definitive if it was literal, right? Um, but it's like perception, right? It's like it's very perception based. Um, so what you may see, blah, blah, what you may perceive to be being over your head, overextended rock bottom, may actually open you up to possibilities if you allow yourself to explore that. If that makes sense. Let's get some more cards. And also the drowning, because we were heavy on the finances, so there may be people who are feeling financial burdens, or you're feeling like you can't keep up with things, you can't pay your bills, you're not making enough, you're not bringing in enough, things just keep slipping out of your hands, or it's like very tight for you this week. Um, and then it feels like I said, for some people, this is like birthing opportunity for you in a sense. But you have to allow yourself to see it and not be delusional about the situation. Yeah. Let me see what else. Intimacy, mutual respect, unity, closeness. Oh, that's interesting. That's different. Is there somebody you can get help from? It feels like support or help. Then I have the laughter, happiness, joy card. If you are feeling, if you need help or you're feeling overwhelmed or you need somebody to talk this out with, this is definitely a good week to like reach out to somebody who is supportive, who makes you feel good. It feels like one person, not necessarily a group, like your best girlfriend or your most supportive, um, whoever friend, like anybody that feels supportive, that feels like they understand you, that feels like they know where you're trying to go, or they have the best intentions for you, somebody that can make you feel good and get you kind of like out of your headspace and give you good advice. And then what I have on the bottom is epiphany, self-reflection, excuse me, self-reflection, answered questions, untapped talents. So again, like I said before, this feels like this could be like an opportunity for something that you may not be able to see, or that you are being asked to see. And having this conversation, or having these people help you, having them support you, having them talk to you, give you advice, may help you actually recognize what you have to do, or what you should do, or what the opportunity is for you this week. So that is what I'm seeing in terms of the specific things we got going on. Let's wrap the reading up with some self-care for this week. Okay, so your best self-care for this week. Look to the stars and dream journal. Okay. So there may be explanations to what is happening in your life right now, and those answers. Sorry, there's like a loud ass helicopter. There may be answers in your dreams, and or there may be answers if you are somebody who is into astrology or has access to an astrologer, or Claude. Don't rely on Claude just alone for astrology information, y'all. But anyway, whatever. um but Now I lost my damn train of thought. Oh, you may be able to utilize that to find answers to what's been going on. So, like, for example, if you are in a situation where you do feel like you're not making enough money, or you're losing money, or like things just financially have not been going right for you, right? You may want to go look into your chart and see what's going on right now in terms of your transiting planets, and maybe like your second house, or what's going on with where your Jupiter is, or what's going on in the stars collectively, and how that could be affecting you, right? One of the things I really love to listen to is Ghost of a Podcast by Jessica Lanyadoo. She is a wonderful astrologer. She breaks down the planets every week, and what's going on in the stars for the collective, and what that could mean for you individually. And so that could be a great resource, or any other astrology, podcast or show or whatever that you can find with reputable people, and take what they say and then check it for yourself. You find a different source, check on it in your own chart, see what that looks like, right? Because there are definitely ways in which the things that are happening in your life are showing up in your stars. Another app that I really like to use is Astro Matrix, and I use that, and you can see like what transits are happening for you daily, what's happening for you this week, what's going to happen this month. And there are things within your chart that you will find that will answer questions for you. Another thing is that I actually, for myself, I've been looking into investing. I did a breakdown with Claude. I know y'all AI. I know. And also, I used Claude to help me look into my second, my fifth, and my eighth house in terms of investing and budgeting, and look at my chart overall and see like what are the best things for me to invest in, and how I like to earn, or the best ways in which I could probably earn money, and things like that. So I will maybe make a separate video where I talk about or give the prompts for that, and kind of break that down. But that's definitely something you can use. And if you want the prompts for that, definitely reach out to me. I'll send it to you if you want it before I put up a video. And then you have the dream journal. So again, there are answers, there are solutions, there are pathways, there are signs and symbols, there are like messages and answers in both of these things. And so pay attention to your dreams. When you wake up, immediately write shit down, do a voice note. Y'all already know, if you've listened to me before say this, do not pee before you write it down or you say it, because you will forget it. Water is a conduit. For me, I believe that the information in our dreams is being held in the water. And when you pee, you just don't remember it. I don't know why. I don't know why it works. I don't know, but I fucking test it, and I know it's true. You test it, you tell me, I know I'm gonna be right, because that's just what happens. It's just what happens. I don't know why it happens. It just happens. So pay attention to your dreams, though. If there's someone in there, if there's something in there, you're in a specific room, you see a specific animal, you do something specific a number of times, look into it. Reach out, to somebody that can help. Look into a dream journal. If you're somebody who divines, ask, take it to your altar, you know what I mean? Like, ask somebody else what they think it could mean, things like that, kind of just break it down. So these are the things I'm getting in terms of the best self-care for you. Again, it's like the ability to find answers outside of yourself, the ability to recognize what's happening and get information that you may not have known was available. So this is the best self-care for this week. And this was your reading for this week, y'all. So thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate y'all so much. If you would like your own personal reading with me, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Like I said, I'm having a sale. You can put the reading in the cart, and when you check out, you will see the discount. Let me know how your week is. Follow the channel if you're not already. Share this message with somebody else who may need it. Follow the podcast, Tiny Musings with T. Our July reading will be out in a day or two, depending on when you're listening to this. Follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And again, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for being here. If you have another pile or you picked another number, I will see you in that reading. And if not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in group 3. Let's get into the card you have. So, the card you chose for the energy of your week is recognition and reward. So, part of the energy that we have this week is definitely being recognized for what we've done, what we have, the skills that we um, display, the person that we are, the values that we have, whatever it is. There's something that's like being put on a pedestal, and or there is work that you're completing that you're going to get a reward for. It may be that people are starting to see like who you are or recognize you. It may be that you are starting to actually, like I said, get rewarded for the things that you do, or you're starting to see the rewards for what you've put in or the work that you've done, or the way that you've been consistent in something. It could also be that you're coming together with other people and being recognizing each other, like seeing each other in a way. It could also be about like celebration or gathering with people. There's a way in which we are like owning the the things that we've done and really sitting in our accomplishments this week. Or like I said, being recognized for those accomplishments, having them come up in some way, or being asked to remember what you've done and what that means. This also reminds me of being able to accept compliments, like I said, and also being able to recognize what you've done. It's like being able to pat yourself on the back for that. One of the things that I had an old manager that used to say to me, like, when I would have my review, the thing that I would have wrong on my review is that I don't sit in my accomplishments. And I didn't recognize the things I would do. I would just kind of move on to the next thing. And it is a fault, because not being able to recognize what you've done or what you've put in, or the change that you've made in something, or how you've added value to something, is like devaluing yourself in a way, right? So there may be ways in which you're being asked to actually like see what you've done. And also, this may look like accepting compliments or accepting people recognizing you, or like being able to really sit in that and own that and having that build you, and believing it, and not like, somebody, oh, you're so good at this. And you're like, oh, no, I'm not good at that, like, and that being your immediate reaction to it. But really sitting and owning, yeah, I am good at that. Or like, oh, wow, I never thought about that, but let me sit with that and really feel that energy. So that's part of the energy that we have with this card. Let's get a few more cards to get a little bit more of the energy for your week. Okay. Okay. So we have moving on, throat chakra, and on the bottom we have intuition. So some of the other energy we have going on this week, again, we have this light and the moving on card. This person is moving out of the shadows into the light. You have the light shining on this person in the reward and recognition card. You have this light coming from behind this door in the intuition card. So, like, again, with there being a light shine on you, with you being recognized, with you being put in the spotlight, with you being elevated, with you, having to sit with like who you are, and what that means, and owning it. We also have the moving through and the moving on, and then a doorway here. So it definitely feels like people are moving to a different level. There may be like a project that's over. There may be a situation that is you're moving on from and moving into something bigger or better, or you're moving into a different position, or you're recognized or seen in a different way. And then there's something to the moving on and the throat chakra card about not only just owning the work that you do, but literally saying it. If you're doing more work than you're supposed to, or if you're doing extra, if you're going above and beyond, or you feel like people don't know what you do, then you need to start telling people. Like literally, like you need to be like, hey, I did this, I worked on this, I added this, I worked these extra hours. Hey, I actually did this thing for you so that you didn't have to do this, or you didn't think about that. You may not have known, but blah 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 blah, right? Like, say what the fuck you're doing, recognize it yourself so that you can be rewarded. This is part of it, of what it feels like. But like I said, there's this way in which you're moving to a different level with things, and so part of that is about speaking what you do and like to others, but also speaking it to yourself, like I said before, recognizing and owning your accomplishments so that you can really start to own where you're going or where you're being elevated to, whether that's literally or figuratively, like you're like spiritually, or like yeah, spiritually moving to a different place in life or another level of yourself, or like you're unlocking some shit. It's kind of how it feels. But then this week also you have the intuition card, so it's like pay attention to what comes up, like own how you feel as well, like own what you do, but own that you're right with what you think and feel when you're sitting in your gut with you, when you're listening to your psychic senses, when you're using your clairs, and allow those things to help you this week. And then when it does, sit with it. I have a digital journal that I made a couple of years ago called Intuitive Teas that you can buy on wildharpertanica.com. But it's a journal that you can use to literally write down the magical things that happen to you, the coincidences, the random things, so that you have a receipt of your magic, of the magic that happens in your life, so that you can remind yourself that you're not crazy, that you do see what you see, or you do feel what you feel, or that these things do happen to you. And one of the reasons I did it was because I realized that my clients weren't able to really own their shit. And I had a mentor that told me long before that, like, when you feel something or you have something happen, write it down. And so I created this journal with these specific prompts to help people really see that this is real, that this is, the gift that you have, or this is the guides that are helping you, or the universe is helping you, or however you see it. And to really have pages and pages of that you could go back to. So part of it this week is also about owning your senses and sitting with that and helping that move you, and um, helping you navigate this week in the best ways that you can, or recognizing where you didn't listen to your intuition and how that affected you, and then what you do with that going forward. So that is what I'm getting from the energies of your week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. All right, so get into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, wishful thinking, second chances, deja vu, nostalgia, masculine energy, authority, discipline, father figure. Chaos, upheaval, disaster, downfall. We got that for another pile. Hopeful, inspired. These are funny. Hopeful, inspired, optimistic, success. Ah. These three together make me feel like part of the reason why some people may be getting recognition and rewarded this week is because you manage something that happens. Like you take control of something that could have been disaster, bad, upheaval, downfall, um, something that people aren't sure, like, what are we gonna do? And like you step up in a way and are able to make something happen or change the energy or fix it in some way. And that may be part of why you get rewarded, or that may be part of why you get the recognition that you do. And for some people, it may be a second chance in the sense that, like, you either didn't see yourself that way and you're able to start seeing yourself that way, and or they didn't see you that way and now they're actually like, oh, like, we recognize you for who you are, even though you've always been that. They just, for whatever reason, didn't see that. Established, settled, secure, wealthy. So again, we have this reward card. So there may be a way in which you're getting more. You're getting a raise. You're getting extra money. You're getting opportunities out of things. You're able to oh, that was weird. Um, you're able to, like, go to something or have access to someone, something, or someone that you didn't before. Um, Anything else? Doesn't feel like it. No. Okay. So yeah. It also, because we have the wishful thinking and the hopeful card outside of what I said, it feels like you just feel good this week. You're happy, you feel positive, you feel inspired, you feel like good things are coming, you feel like things are working out for you, or you're feeling positive. It also feels like you are owning the power that you have, or the leadership position you have, or the authority you have. It's very interesting because it's like the opposite of group one, and the energy that they had. Because of your power, your authority, the way in which you're able to manage things, you may get, like I said, rewarded for that. And yes, there may be something that is disrupted or comes up this week, but you have these two cards on either ends of that, so it doesn't feel like it's like the a disaster in a way. Like, it feels like you're able to, like, either rise above it and or fix it, or cause it to not be as bad as it could be, or something like that. So that is what I'm getting for the specific things that you have going on this week. Let's wrap your reading up with some self-care. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the cards we have are connect with your ancestors, clear your energy field, and on the bottom I have make an altar. So all three of these cards are about the outside of yourself in a way, right? We have connect with your ancestors. Part of the reason that we're connecting with our ancestors is so that we recognize that we have help outside of ourselves, that there are people who lived and fought so that we could be. And part of our existence is um, like a privilege, and the privilege is being able to live out not only our dreams but the dreams that they had for themselves, the dreams that they weren't able to recognize, the things that they weren't able to do, and really owning that and utilizing that, and um, like living and breathing that kind of thing, you know? And so connecting with your ancestors is something that is very important to me. If you don't already know, I am definitely an ancestral based astrologer. Astrologer, Jesus, ancestral based reader. When I do readings, I start with, and my clients will tell you, I start with calling in my people, I call in your people, which is your spiritual team as well as your ancestors. I do ancestral readings where I have people who want to call in specific ancestors, and we call them in and we get information. I've done ancestral readings where I help people find out their lineage in terms of like where their people are from. So for me, my connection with my ancestors, excuse me, and my connection with helping my clients connect with their ancestors is like super important. Okay, so this week, if you are somebody who already has a connection with your ancestors, definitely go call on them, sit at your altar, bring them some coffee, connect in the ways in which you connect with them, see if they need anything from you, see if there's anything that they want to say to you. If you don't know anything about that but want to know more about it, there are definitely resources, but you could always reach out to me and I can help you. So that's definitely a thing. And then we have make an altar. So if you are somebody that doesn't have an ancestral altar, but you have the space or you have the want, this is definitely a good week to connect with them, to sit and make a dedicated space to them. Outside of your ancestors, you have make an altar. So you can make an altar to any spirit or deity that you'd like. And it's um, or energy, I should say, and it's built on what you're trying to um, connect with or embody or invoke, you know what I mean? And so like you can make an altar, like I said, to your ancestors. You can make an altar to a specific deity. You can make an altar to yourself, like a self-love altar. You can make a money altar. There's a number of different kind of things that you can make to connect with different, like I said, energies or spirits for what you are trying to bring into your life. And connecting to that energy in the ways in which you can to help grow that connection, to help understand more about yourself, about certain aspects of you, about your ancestors, about a certain deity, to have them help you in this life, to give them offerings for the things that they do, like a number of different things. And so again, if this is something you've been thinking about, something you've been wanting to do, something that you're more interested in or curious in now that I'm talking about it, definitely look into this. Part of um, working with your ancestors, making an altar, connecting with anything outside of yourself, or even being able to move and flow in right alignment, we have to have our energy clear. So, what you have in the middle is clear your energy field. And there are a number of different ways that you can do that. This person is smudging. You can use smoke to clear your energy. You can use sound. You can use water. There are a number of different ways that you can clear your energy field. And the most important thing is that you do it consistently. There are ways in which we have our own negative energies. We field other people's energies. We are fielding the toxins and the things in the air. And so there are things that build up around us. And so just like you have to wash your ass, you have to clean your aura. You know what I mean? You got to wash your aura. You got to wash your energies. And so like part of it is that, and also if you are trying to connect with your ancestors or build an altar, you want to clear your space. You want to make sure that there's nothing impeding you from that connection, that um, you're able to clear and consecrate the space so that you know who the fuck you're talking to and nobody else can come up in that bitch and just, be doing shit willy-nilly and things. So that is also about the energy field too. So that is what I'm getting for the best self-care for this week. Definitely do these things, at least one of these things this week, y'all. And if you have questions, like I said, definitely ask. So this is what we have for your self-care. And this was your reading for this week, y'all. So thank you so much for reading with me. Please let me know how your week is. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything, or if you find good resources, put them in the comments so other people can have them as well. If you'd like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Like I said before, my live reading is on sale. Once you put it in your cart, you will see the discount. If you aren't already following the channel, follow me here. Share this message with somebody who needs it. I don't know why I can't talk no more, y'all. It is late. Anyway, follow our podcast, Tiny Musings with T. Our July reading will be out in a couple of days. And follow me on Instagram at Tiny Divination. So, again, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you so much for being here, for breaking down the cards with me. And if you have another pile or number, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading.